Hello everyone. Um, I just wanna make sure that I'm live on my laptop, so I can answer all your questions. 1 second. Okay, I'm live now. All right. So today's video actually is extremely exciting. A lot of new information, new rules that came and hit the real estate market, and just wanted to come down with this video because it's extremely crucial. It's gonna affect you as a seller, buyer, and us agents. Okay, and feel free, by the way, to share this video with anyone you know, whether they are thinking to sell or to buy or invest or not, even not, just to share it with them, just for their knowledge and information, and just so they know what's going on. So what am I going to cover in this video are three things. First is the new lawsuit. Well, it's not new anymore. It's actually now a settlement. So what is a new settlement in the real estate industry? What happened and why it happened? That's number one. Number two, how is that going to affect you as a buyer, as a seller, and us as agents? And number three, best practices. What are the new best practices that we should be doing in this industry within the new settlement? All right. So before I get started, don't forget to subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. Okay, what country, what state, if you're in California, what city, and if you have any thoughts about buying or selling, would love to get an idea. All right, let's have this as an interactive video. Okay, I would like to get your answers about some questions I'm gonna ask, and I would like you to ask me questions. Okay, so let me ask you a question. In this industry, when somebody is looking to sell their home, do you know who pays the commission? It was customary. Okay, so who used to pay the commission? Is it the seller or the buyer? So usually traditionally, it was the seller. So the seller used to pay the commission. And there's, this is what it was traditional. And the seller paid this from where? From the proceeds of selling their home. So they didn't come up with the money right away. They did not have to pay out of pocket, unlike the buyer. I mean, if you tell the buyer now to pay commission, where would they come up with the money, right? It's really hard for the buyers to get the down payment, get pre-approved, pay closing costs, and on top of that, pay their commission, their agent's commission. It's going to be extremely hard, right? So, so customary, again, that's what we're used to. The seller used to pay the commission. And this happened, by the way, back in, I want to say the 90s. When the buyer started having representation. So prior to that, the buyer never had representation, and then a group of attorneys came and they said, no, now it's time for the buyer to have representation, and that's when the seller started paying the commission. Okay, and this is how it went. So there's a seller and a buyer. And the seller is represented by an agent, and the buyer is represented by an agent. And by the way, when I talk about an agent, yes, I'm an agent, but I work with a firm, so I work with a broker. So when the seller pays a commission, he pays the broker's commission, he pays my company's commission, and then there is other split between me and my company and other fees and whatever. So the seller pays for both sides, okay? And again, this comes out of the proceeds of selling his home, not out of pocket. So this was the case, all right? Now, what's new? What's new is that bedtime story, all right? So let's go back. Once upon a time, there were two sellers in the state of Missouri. They said that after they sold their home and they closed the deal and everything, they said, we didn't know that we had to pay for the buyer's agent's commission. We didn't know that we paid for that commission. So guess what happened? They filed this with attorneys, and the attorneys actually they decided to take this class action. Why? Because the attorney's fees on these kind of lawsuits, they usually do 33%. But if they take it class action, then they pay 40%. Then they get paid 40%. So what is a class action? Class action means that the lawsuit is national. Now, it's not only in Missouri, it's actually national, okay? So all the 50 states are being affected. okay? So, and other sellers, they joined the lawsuit, and they actually went back 7 years. They went back 7 years, and this has been going on for perhaps, I don't know, maybe a couple of years or something, okay? And then NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, this is our big board, right, in US, they decided and they said, okay, we're gonna settle. I'm gonna get to the questions all the way to the end. They decided to settle. And I think they settled, I think the final number was about 1 billion. Do the math. The attorneys make about 40%, so that's 400 million, including costs and everything else, fees and whatever. So that ended up to 500 something, so half a billion. And then what's left is 418 million that was divided among all the sellers that joined the lawsuit. And by the way, if you search this online, you're not going to see exactly what I'm telling you. I'm telling you the nitty-gritty details of the lawsuit, okay, what happened exactly. So how much do you think each seller got at the end? Guess, how much? Give me a number. Each seller actually ended up getting $38. Each seller was given $38 at the end, okay? So who benefited? Who benefited out of this? The attorneys. So what was the settlement about? So what did the NAR settle for? They settled for that the buyer's commission not to be written on MLS anymore. So what is MLS? So MLS is basically the multiple listing services. It is our database as agents. If you are a seller, I would do something called listing presentation, listing appointment with you, right? And we discuss everything. We discuss the pricing, we discuss the commission, we discuss everything about your home, right? We agree on everything. We write a listing agreement. And after that, I take this information and I upload it to MLS. This is how I give all the other agents the access to find your home. And this is how we find, this is the biggest thing in finding a buyer. Because another agent from another company maybe I'm in Inland Empire, somebody in Orange County, in LA, right? And they want to find your home, so they are able to have access to MLS and find your home, okay? But the buyer's broker's commission used to be written on MLS. So NAR, the National Association of Realtors, came and said, okay, we're gonna take this out. So now the buyer's commission is not written on MLS. Okay, so this is the settlement. That's the biggest difference, okay? So how does that affect you as a seller? So now I explained the lawsuit. If any questions, please ask. I'll get to them at the end. So this is the lawsuit, and this is the settlement. Okay, clear? All right. So how does that affect you as a seller? There has to be agreement now between me as a listing agent and you as a seller. First of all, education. I have to educate what's happening. I have to give you the full education, the full disclosure, what's happening, just in case you've heard this from outside. Maybe some of the sellers I noticed from talking to them, they never heard about this. They don't know. It's all over the news, by the way. And it started executing it, by the way. The actual date of execution of this lawsuit was August 17. So tomorrow, we're gonna, it's gonna mark the 1 week anniversary of this lawsuit. Okay. All right, so how does that affect you as a seller? Now you have to agree on the commission verbally with your agent, and your agent has to convey this to the buyer's agent. So if a buyer is looking to buy your home, then his agent will call me as the listing agent, and I'll tell him the seller is offering, whatever percentage that you're offering. So in case the seller decided not to pay commission, and maybe he will tell his listing agent, no, you know what, let the buyer pay his agent or his broker a commission. Okay, you have the right to do that. You always had the right to do that, by the way. It's now just been a class action, so now everyone knows about it. But in this case, the agent has a lot of education, because I feel we are in the trenches. We orchestrate everything. We deal, and this is the hardest thing, I guess, about our business, having to do with the sellers, buyers, having to explain, having to clarify situation, and have to, smooth everything, kind of. But have to be very clear about everything as well. So if the seller is not willing to pay commission to the other side, absolutely fine, your decision. However, I would like to, and this is what I would say in a seller's in a listing appointment, I would say bear in mind that your home may stay longer in the market, because guess what? If I have a buyer's agent calling me as the listing agent and asking me how much is your seller paying commission, and I tell him he's not, let your buyer pay you, is he gonna show you your home? Think about it. With all the buyers, you know, having hard to getting pre-approved and pre-qualified, and down payment and interest rate and the mortgage rates, of course, and closing costs and everything the buyer is struggling to go through right now, do you think that they are able right now to add to that a commission? Really? 2 to 3%? It's going to be hard. The decision is yours. And I'm going to give you a great example, by the way. So today in our meeting, one of the top agents here, I'm recording right now from our Whittier office, it's our corporate office. She has a listing, and the seller heard about this, and you know, the seller decided not to pay the commission. The listing went on the market, 3 weeks, dead. No showings, no one called the listing agent, it's completely dead. No activity whatsoever. So then the listing agent approached the seller again and re-explained the whole situation to her. So the seller at this point decided to add a commission, okay? When that happened, they get an above asking offer, okay? So this is the advantage of you offering, and again, we as agents, we only explain. We cannot tell you what to do or not to do. It's absolutely your decision, okay? But we just have to explain that. Bear in mind that the home may stay longer in the market. And another thing I want to just explain, if a home gets expired, because of the seller did not offer commission, then if another listing agent picks up this listing, he's going to be concerned about this, because in our industry as agents, the last thing we want to have are a profile full of expired listings. I don't want to have a list. My job as a listing agent is not to list your home. My job is to sell your home. And there's a big difference, okay? I can just take a listing, but selling it is something different. I have to do all the work actually to sell your home, because we are on the same team. You want to move out of this house. You want to sell this home and buy another home, upgrade, downgrade, move out of state, whatever, cash out, whatever you want to do. You know, I will help you. This is my absolute obligation to you as a seller, is to help you move forward. So in order to help you move forward, these are the best practices that I'm talking about in this video, right? So this is for you as a seller. And I want you to just think about it again as a seller. Before we move to the buyer, I want you to think about something. If a buyer wants to buy a home, and his agent will go to him and say, okay, I have 5 homes that matches your criteria. So these homes, 3 of them offer commission, the seller is offering commission, and 2 of them, the seller decided not to offer commission, okay? Which ones do you think the buyer will end up seeing? Perhaps the ones that offer commission, right? So I want you to put yourself as a seller in the buyer's shoe and in the buyer's situation. And as a seller as well, you are also moving from a home to another home. So if you're not offering a commission on your home, would you like to pay a commission to your broker on the second home that you're buying? Right? It's the same thing. It's the same scenario for you as a seller. Okay, now let's go for you as a buyer. As a buyer, this is a situation, this is how it used to be. What it used to be is that the first part is the same, which is if I get a new buyer, somebody tells me, okay, I would like to buy a home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, whatever, we discuss the criteria of the home. All what I want to see at the beginning is what? It's just the pre-approval letter from your lender. That's what I want to see. The pre-approval letter, that you are pre-approved for X amount, okay? All right, and then what do I do after that? I send you, as a buyer, I send you a list of homes in the market from MLS according to your criteria. Now, instead of This part now, I can't do it right away. We have to navigate into another way. So we are detouring. So instead of sending you the list right away, I would have to call each listing agent and I find out if they offer commission or not. And then I come back to you as a buyer and I say, okay, this is longer, it takes longer time for me. And then I come back for you as a buyer and I say, okay, so 3 of them offer commission, 2 of them don't offer commission. Which ones do you wanna see? And probably, perhaps, most buyers, I would assume, they will say, okay, no, I want you to show me only the ones that offer commission because I can't afford to pay commission. Some of them may be able to offer commission. We never know. Some of them might be able. So we don't know what's going to happen, okay? So this is the situation, and there are 21 new forms that came into the market along with this new settlement that we are still learning, but there are new forms for you as a buyer, and they changed the listing agreement that we will have to sign with the seller. So lots of changes happening, but again, the main change, the ultimate change is that the sellers, the main change is that the commission is not written on MLS anymore. Okay, so not that the seller don't have to pay commission, whether they pay or not, it's been always customary. I mean, it's been always negotiable, but the consequences are this, and I just explained it. So bear that in mind. Okay, so now I explained this, and I explained the best practices, and I explained the lawsuit. Now, what's interesting is that something else actually happened last week. Another lawsuit came into the market, which is 3 Michigan brokers. They are suing NAR now for membership because in our industry, in order to access MLS, the multiple list, which is our database, in order to be able to access that, I have to pay my membership fees to NAR. So I have to be part of NAR in order to access MLS. So now they are saying, why do I have to pay your fees if you're not showing me the buyer's commission? So this is a new lawsuit in the market right now as we speak, filed by 3 Michigan brokers, and we're gonna see where's that gonna settle. I mean, I think at this point, I mean, that's what we think as professionals in the industry, that this is not gonna last forever. It may or may not, I mean, I don't know, but we're just saying, we're seeing changes, new changes in the market, and this may change as well. We don't know. I'm just telling you the situation right now, and as for the future, anything that comes up new, definitely I'll, explain again. And something else we noticed in the past year, we noticed that the number of agents have dropped, and not a lot of active agents now in the industry. I mean, just face it. We are going through a lot of changes, and we as agents, we suffer through every change. I mean, yeah, sometimes we get resentful, sometimes hopeful, but we are always explaining, we're always there with you, we're always here to help. I mean, we're always support and help. We want to help you, whether to buy or to sell, whatever your goals, we are here for you. So, but we have to go through this to be able to help you. So a lot of agents are not able to do that. And some of them are only licensed, but they're not practicing. And this is exactly like, for me, it's exactly like a licensed surgeon. Would you go to just a licensed surgeon that never practiced a surgery before and do a surgery with him? Absolutely not, right? You would never do that. So when you sell or buy a home, go to somebody in the trenches. Go to somebody that's doing it, somebody experienced, somebody that's really doing the business. But somebody just licensed, I don't know, because I hear this a lot. My nephew just got licensed, my niece, my brother, my sister. And if they're not doing the business, then a lot of agents actually dropped in the past year. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. Let me see what questions you have. Okay, so I don't see any questions here. But if you have any questions, feel free to actually to send me the questions on the comments. I will always answer them, and if there is anything new that came, I will definitely answer them. and I will come down with a new video. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any thoughts about buying, selling, or if you know somebody, send them this video. You know, if you have somebody that you think about, maybe your neighbor, your friend, anyone that doesn't know this information, share it with them. Let them know what's going on. And by the way, I just want to say something. In the commercial field, in the commercial real estate, this has been the case. This is the case. The buyer pays for his broker or agent. And in the residential real estate, it's different. I told you how it used to be, and now it's probably the same. And I want to say something. You know, now we've been in this for about a week. We haven't seen any changes. So far, all the listings or the buying or everything that we are working, it's going fine. I mean, it's not affecting the market the way we thought it's gonna do, but it's not. Okay. So far, you know, grateful for the industry, and grateful for understanding clients and what we go through as agents. So far it's going well. Anyways, I'm always here to answer all the questions. Subscribe and share this video with anyone you know. And until next time, bye for now.